What if Dumbledore accepted the Minister of Magic job? We all know Albus Dumbledore repeatedly turned down the job of Minister for Magic. He was keenly aware of his own weakness for power, a temptation he feared more than anything else. But history often hinges on single moments and single choices. So today, we're exploring the timeline where he chose differently. What if Dumbledore, faced with the undeniable truth of Voldemort's return, accepted the Ministry's top job? This is the story of how one man's decision to embrace power led the wizarding world into a completely different kind of war. Our story branches off not in 1990 when Dumbledore was first offered the position, but later after the summer of Harry's third year. The wizarding public is on edge. Sirius Black is out of Azkaban, and Minister Cornelius Fudge's government looks weak and indecisive. Within the Wizengamot, the whispers are growing louder. People want a real leader, not just a politician. They want Dumbledore.
A delegation arrives at Hogwarts, pleading with him one last time. Fudge has been forced out by a vote of no confidence, and the path is clear. Dumbledore hesitates. The ghosts of his past with Grindelwald are screaming in his mind. He knows that power is his Achilles' heel, but he also sees the shadows gathering on the horizon. He suspects Voldemort is stirring, that dark magic like Horcruxes is out there, and he knows that Fudge's denial will be the wizarding world's downfall. Torn between two great fears, the fear of what he could become and the fear of what will happen if he does nothing, he makes his choice. With a heavy heart, Albus Dumbledore accepts the position of Minister for Magic.
The first 100 days of Minister Dumbledore's administration are a whirlwind of quiet, decisive change. His very first act is to remove the Dementors from Azkaban, cutting off a powerful future alliance for Voldemort before it can even form. The prison is now guarded by a rotating unit of elite auras. Next, he puts his immense political influence to work, not with force, but with unshakable logic and charisma. Corrupt but influential figures like Lucius Malfoy suddenly find their back channels to power are closed for business. Instead of Fudge's blustering denial, Dumbledore begins a calm, steady campaign of public awareness. He doesn't shout from the rooftops that Voldemort is back. Instead, he warns of a growing darkness, urging everyone to be vigilant and unified. He quietly starts mending bridges with beings the Ministry has pushed away for decades, sending envoys to the Giants and promising a new era of fairness. For the first time in a generation, the Ministry feels less like a bumbling mess and more like a shield. Public confidence skyrockets. The wizarding world feels safe. Back at Hogwarts, however, things are different. Headmistress McGonagall runs the school with her trademark sharp efficiency. Classes are orderly and standards are high, but the castle feels quieter. It's missing that famous twinkle of mischief, that overwhelming sense of safety that came with having Dumbledore physically there. Harry feels this shift more than anyone. His mentor is now a powerful but distant figure he mostly sees in the pages of the Daily Prophet. There are no more private lessons, no quiet chats by the fire. During the Triwizard Tournament, Harry feels more isolated than ever. Minister Dumbledore ensures the tournament's security is ironclad on a policy level, but he isn't in the castle to offer a reassuring word or personal guidance. Harry's protection is now an official Ministry directive, not a personal promise. That distance forces Harry to rely on himself, Ron, and Hermione in a way he never had to before, creating a tougher, more self-reliant young man.
When Harry stumbles out of the graveyard, clutching Cedric's body and screaming that Voldemort is back, the world doesn't waste a moment in disbelief. The very next morning, Minister Dumbledore addresses the public via the Wizarding Wireless Network. He confirms the tragic news, his voice full of sorrow, but also steel. There is no smear campaign against Harry. There is no denial. The war has begun, and this time, the Ministry is ready. Led by Dumbledore, the government launches a proactive campaign. The Order of the Phoenix isn't a secret society anymore. It's an official, elite task force working within the Department of Magical Law Enforcement. When Voldemort tries to steal the prophecy, he doesn't run into a handful of teenagers. He finds a fully mobilized Aura department waiting for him, led by Minister Dumbledore himself. The battle in the Department of Mysteries isn't a desperate skirmish. It's a decisive victory for the Ministry. Voldemort is exposed to the world, his forces are scattered, and the wizarding world, prepared and united, fights back as one. The war is shorter, far more brutal, but ultimately more efficient. Minister Dumbledore's leadership saves countless lives that would have been lost to incompetence and denial, but it comes at a different kind of cost. Perhaps Hogwarts, without its greatest guardian on site, suffers a different tragedy that Dumbledore, as headmaster, might have prevented. And the wizarding world, now more organized and militarized,
may have lost a bit of its chaotic charm along the way. Dumbledore's choice led to a quicker victory, but did it cost the wizarding world a piece of its soul? So was it the right trade?
What do you think would have been the biggest change? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more journeys into alternate wizarding histories.